holiday, 6th of December, I went back in to see the specialist, and that's when she told me the bombshell that, yeah, it was cancer, a serous carcinoma of the endometrium, which unfortunately is an aggressive cancer. So not good news, but I mean, no cancer is good news. Finding out I had cancer was obviously a shock. And I think one of the hardest things to deal with was the mental side of it. I'm not somebody that sort of verbalises a lot. I tend to internalise, you know, I tend to be quite a positive person. So suddenly here was this thing that I couldn't control, and that, yeah, was going to affect me potentially for the rest of my life. January, I found out that what they were going to do, which was a hysterectomy with fallopian tubes, ovaries all gone, and they wanted to take some lymph nodes as well. Just to be sure, with it being an aggressive cancer, that, you know, they wanted to play safe. So 6 weeks after surgery, I was in having brachy-radiotherapy, 4 courses of that, so that was just over the course of a couple of weeks, and then straight into chemo. But the chemo was definitely tough. It was tough on the family, seeing me not being the bubbly, you know, running around everywhere at 100 miles an hour sort of person that I normally am. So yeah, it was hard on all of us, and what complicated that was COVID and going into lockdown. So for my second and third chemos were during the lockdown. So I was norm and no mates. I wasn't allowed any friends in there with me. You know, we all were spaced apart in the chemo room, 2 meters apart. The nurses were suddenly in full PPE with masks. I had to have a mask on and I had my cooling cap on. I mean, you couldn't see anything of me. It was, you know, hilarious, really. But that made it quite a bit harder. Megan, who is a cancer physiotherapist, was recommended to me by a friend. She's helped me in lots of different ways, not just with the cancer rehabilitation. After the lymphatic physio, we moved into Pilates, and that was the thing that really started me gaining strength. So we were doing exercises, obviously, that Megan knew were right for me for building up my core muscles, because they'd taken a major hit, and walking around the garden isn't going to get you back into full strength. So she started working on different areas once a week, and that was one-on-one. That was fantastic because I could see a progress each week. You know, there was, you know, what I couldn't do one week, I could do the next week, or I could do more repetitions, or, you know, greater strength. And it was just a time that I really looked forward to, because I knew it was a time that was getting me back to being my old self. So it became so much more than just the physiotherapy, which in itself was obviously a huge benefit, and a path for greater things, because that then led us on to the Pilates and then on to next steps, and then the paddleboarding too. So it's been quite a journey. Even though I've hopefully got rid of the cancer, I still unfortunately do have a few different side effects. Radiotherapy, I think, is one of the things that can cause some long-term effects. So for me, with the hysterectomy and the radiotherapy, it's affected my bowel and bladder. I have needed to get some help with that, and I would heartily recommend anybody, you know, if you've got problems or ongoing issues, get help, because there's lots of ways of minimising the impact of these. You know, you may or may not be able to get rid of them, but there's things you can do. And even just talking it through with somebody, different people come up with different ideas. So, you know, help yourself by contacting, you know, a specialist. I think, you know, getting a cancer diagnosis, endometrial or any other, is a huge thing. And I think it's something that you shouldn't have to carry on your own shoulders. Yes, you know, family and friends will support you, I'm sure, you know, and that's really important. But there's a wealth of other information and services out there. It's not always easy to find them. I was very lucky in finding Harbour Cancer, meeting Megan through that, and then that led on to Pink and Still.